This one's quick and easy, and it's very low calorie. And the clams are easy to come by if you use canned clams. In my neck of the woods in Seattle, you know, you're not supposed to use canned clams. We consider that sacrilege. But now and then in the middle of the night, I've been wont to climb out of bed and make this dish for myself. All right, put about 5 cloves of garlic into a frying pan. Good hot oil, garlic oil. That's what we're making from the olive oil and the garlic, you see. All righty, now we'll saute the following vegetables in there. Very easy to do. We need about a couple of stalks of celery, 3, 4, whatever you like. Remember when you chop now, keep those fingers bent under, won't you, huh? In it goes. There we are. And we'd also like to add a couple of zucchini, and I've cut them up. We're going to use the stick ones again. There we are. Very small zucchini. And we're going to add 4 green onions. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's so much fun to cook. Just, well, obviously you caught on to that, or you wouldn't be joining me all the time. There we go. Let's shake that a bit. See how they're doing. Turn the heat up. You see how quickly you can do this if you come home at night and you want to throw together a nice pasta sauce. You don't have to cook tomatoes all day long. They don't eat tomato sauce on pasta in the north anyhow. You know, that's a very southern tradition. But I am going to put some tomato in this eventually. Let's try some mushrooms. Oh, a little handful. You can vary this any way you like. These are all sliced up and ready. While those are cooking, I'm going to dice up a couple of tomatoes. Now remember, if your knife is not sharp, you're not going to be able to cut a tomato without getting juice all over the board. You sharpen your knife thusly, stroking it on both sides at about a 45-degree angle on your knife over against the steel, you see? About 45 degrees from here to here. Understand me? Actually, 45 is a little too much. Anywhere from 20 to 45, depending on how you cut. There, oh, that's good and sharp now. Now we're all ready. So that when we slice up the tomato, you see, we shouldn't have anything dribbling out of the tomato at all. And that's a very ripe tomato. You see? You don't need those tomato cutters, for heaven's sakes. Just keep your knife good and sharp. Okay. One more here. And that'll go into my frying pan in preparation for our clam sauce. There, it's doing nicely. This should cook longer than I'm going to allow it to cook today. You and I don't have time for that, but that's all right. Let's put in about 3 tablespoons of parsley now. Got that one? Parsley, there's lots of vegetables. And we want 1/4 of a cup of white wine. Ta-da! There we go. And now we'll put in the clams. And what I'm going to use are simply chopped clams, and I'm going to put in the juice and all. But we'll have to let that cook for a bit. To cook down the... There we go. Oh. Well, I can smell right now. It's going to be delicious, but I need some salt and pepper. Clams. We don't need clams. Very little salt now. You don't need it with all these vegetables and tons of garlic. And a bit of pepper. There we are. Well, let's let this cook down for a bit. I'll put it on another burner so that I have my stove adjusted so that I have my center burner that's closest to me is just hotter than a $2 shotgun. It's just murder. And that way, you see, I can control things very easily so that this burner is not so hot. At home, my gas range is the same way. I have one burner that I use for wok cooking, and it's very, very hot. And my wife just is frustrated because she'll burn everything up if she's not careful. And we'll let this one cook for a bit, and we'll go on to another one. Then I want to talk about the styles of pasta that we saw in that lovely little vignette that our crew did. The odor's terrific. But first, we've got to get the pasta in the pot. Remember, I told you I already pre-cooked this. So what we're going to do now is to add some penne lisci to the pot. Penne lisci is an interesting... You see how long it is? Let me show you what it's like when it's before it's been cooked. I have some here from a marvelous factory that we'd seen. You see, it looks like a little quill of a pen. Isn't that fascinating? You can almost write with it. And it's called little pen tips. And it looks little quill tips, you see. So we'll get some pasta into the pot here. And my sauce is now amply warm. And I think I want to serve that one in a flamboyant copper thing because, you know, for me, clams are just terrific. Okay, it doesn't take long here to warm it back up when your water's boiling good and hard. There we are. Aren't these fun when they boil up nicely? Why, they really look good. Little pen tips, quill tips, call them what you will. Anyhow, they're fun to play with. Now our sauce is ready. Toss that around a little bit more. Fine, we'll load that on our... Now if you have too much juice in the bottom of yours, and I didn't this time, remember I put in 1/4 of a cup of wine as well as the juice from the can of clams. If you have too much juice in there, then remove the solids from the pan and simply boil it down. Boil the sauce down a bit. But I don't think we'll have to do that this time. It looks very good. And don't put the cheese all over the top because you're going to kill the colors. Let's just do a little bit here, you see? Down the center so that you can toss all of this at the table. This is very low calorie. It's very inexpensive. It's very flamboyant. What do you want from me today? It's going to be a good dish for you. I think your family will like that one. Ouch. There, a little hot. All right, we have time for another one. And this one is, well, it looks a little strange. I'm going to make egg noodles with blue cheese, a blue cheese cream sauce. Put your frying pan on the burner. It's good and hot. And in order to make this dish, you want to get a bit of blue cheese. Now remember, there are all kinds of cheeses in the market that are called blue. Well, not really all kinds that are called blue. There are several different cheeses of this variety. The French variety is a Roquefort cheese, and it's made with sheep's milk. Then there's an Italian variety made from goat's milk, and it's called Gorgonzola. The Danes make it from cow's milk and call it blue. And either one of those three will work. Just depends on how much you want to invest in this whole project, you see. Because the other cheeses are much more expensive than the Danish, but they really do have a much brighter flavor. Okay, we want 1/4 of a cup, 1/4 of a pound of cheese. I'm going to put it into a bit of oil here. Isn't this an interesting thought? Gorgonzola noodles and... Whoops. Just put out my burner. There we go. One of you wrote and asked why I light my burners with a little, what they call a automatic match. Because I don't want to, there, that's 1/4 of a pound. I don't want to leave my pilot lights burning on my gas stove all the time. It costs about $70 a year for you to use all that electricity, the gas, and you don't want it. You don't need it. Okay, 1/4 of a cup of whipping cream goes into that. This one's very, very simple. Just melt down the cheese and the whipping cream. Then we want a little bit of Parmesan or Romano that we'll put on later. Just let that melt. Isn't it gorgeous? You don't think it's gorgeous yet, eh? Well, you watch and see what's going to happen. Now we need some egg noodles that I've already cooked. And these egg noodles are really, really very lovely. We'll just put in a big handful here. Don't cook these until they're gooey, as I say with my gooey noodles in my hand. They're not bad. They're just about right. Okay. We'll toss the sauce about now on the noodles until we have a Gorgonzola blue cheese or Roquefort cream sauce that we've made of 1/4 pound. You get the recipe? 1/4 pound of cheese, a little bit of olive oil in the pan, 1/4 cup of whipping cream. This is going to be a rich one. And you heat the noodles up. There we go. They're just about done. They need pepper. That's what they need. They need some pepper, so let's throw in some pepper here. Alrighty. And we've got another one for you. You can't have too much pasta. I'm just convinced. And pasta's very in now, you know. You notice I haven't done anything with cold pasta for you today. The Italians don't think much of that idea. And yet the kind of salads that we can make in our time with the colorful pastas that we have are certainly a far cry from the old macaroni salad that my mother used to make for me in South Tacoma. That's a good memory too, though. I'm not knocking it. Okay, that one's done. Did you get that? Let's put some parsley on the top of it. Oh, some Parmesan or Romano cheese. I forgot that. So we have 2 cheeses in this one. Gorgonzola, cream, olive oil, no garlic, a little bit of pepper. And we're ready to serve it. It's very nice. Very nice. There we go. And I think we need a little bit of parsley in this one too. And we have 4 pasta dishes that took us very little time to prepare. and they're very delicious. Now, when you went to the factory with me a little bit ago, to the Florence macaroni factory, you saw him making a dark pasta at one point. This is made of whole wheat, and when it's cooked, it looks a little bit lighter. Then he did something called a rotini. It looks like endless corkscrews. Remember, it had different colors? This is wheat. The red one is beet. The yellow one, or orangish one, of course, is carrot. And the green one, can you guess? You're right, it's spinach. And when you cook them up, they look a little bit lighter in color, but they're simply marvelous for any kind of a pasta salad that you'd like to make. Very light dressing of olive oil and garlic, a little bit of vinegar, you see. And then if you have time, you don't want time, you want basil. If you have time to go to the market, pick some fresh leaves of basil or pick up a whole fresh plant. This was brought to me by a friend here at our kitchen, our studio, and he gave me some fresh basil. And you can use them for decoration on your pasta, or better yet, you can simply throw them in the pasta dish. Now, if you want to make your own pasta fresh, the recipe is simple. It's in my cookbook. We'll send you that too. But I want to show you a gadget that I've just found that I think is a riot. Instead of buying them from the guy who has a big electric machine, look at this one. This is a KitchenAid, and it's the regular meat grinder, and they have a little gadget you throw in there. And watch this, will you? You can make pasta with it. Look at it coming out. Here we're making spaghettini. And it just does it all by itself. I made the dough, and you just feed it in there in little bitty blobs, you see. You notice that I'm not putting in big handfuls, but just tiny little bits at a time, you see. Very interesting. Good fun. There you go. Now you'll have to flour that, or you'll have a big mess on your hands. You have to put a lot of flour around the pasta. Anyhow, that's one method. And another method is to use a rolling machine. And this gadget is very easy to use. You've seen this is an Italian pasta maker. And you roll your dough first on the thick side. I love this one. I really like this rolled pasta much better than extruded pasta. It has a much nicer flavor for me. You roll it thick first, then we'll dial down to a thin one here. Number 5, if you have an atlas at home, and you're ready to cut your noodles. Out they go. Then the noodle machine has several blades on the other side, and you can run them through either lasagna or spaghettini, thusly. And you have pasta all over the place. Make fettuccine, make pasta, make good things for your family. We've made 4 dishes to celebrate today with everything we could possibly find in the refrigerator. For instance, we have fettuccine with a beautiful salami and zucchini. We have broccoli with 3 cheeses. We have rigatoni or pennillisci with a clam sauce. And finally, with beautiful blue cheese sauce. So you can do all sorts of things. Cook, will you? And use pasta. Till we're together again then, this is the Frugal Gourmet. I bid you peace. Bye-bye.